Well, we talked a lot about it, and here it is, a $9,000 TV that's a bargain at that price. This is Samsung's new OLED, OLED screen TV, the S9C. It's 55 inches. The reason $9,000 feels like a bargain is because LG's was $15,000. This is the second kind of widely available commercial OLED TV. Organic light emitted diodes are a little bit different than the other prominent screen technologies. There's plasma, which is also a direct view. Little cells of plasma gas are excited to emit color. And then there's LCD. LCDs are shutters, basically, the liquid crystal shutters that let light in and out. They have to have a backlight. One of the problems with LCD, besides the fact that it's slow because it has to do the shuttering, is that it can't get black. So the black light's always on. It's very difficult to shut that out completely. OLED is more like plasma. It is light emitting diodes. Each pixel emits its own light under electrical stimulation. Very crisp. There have been problems with OLEDs in the past. You've probably seen an OLED screen on your smartphone. Lots of devices have had small OLED screens. Making big panels has been inefficient. Samsung says they can cut the price because they've got the technology much better. There's also some question about longevity on OLEDs, and that's something we'll just have to wait and see. But in the past, the blue pixels have faded a little faster than the other colors, giving the screen a bad look. So, having said all that, I was pretty excited to get this. And as you might expect with a $9,000 TV, it's loaded. It's got a camera for Skype built in. It comes with not one, but two remote controls, one of which is a very innovative universal remote with a touch screen. It also has Bluetooth. This is a Bluetooth remote that has voice control, but you can also use a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse. It'll pair with any of those. And you can even use gesture control. I turned that off because every time I was watching a movie and I scratched my head, the TV interrupted and said, "Yes? What do you want?" I don't know how useful voice control will be, but I do love this remote. It's very, very effective. Another thing that's unusual about this TV is, as you can see, it's slightly curved. Not a lot. The frame makes it look more curved than it is, but the slight curve isn't really necessary. It's just something Samsung could do because the nature of OLED is that it's relatively flexible. Unlike a glass panel, you can bend it. Also, the frame that this is around gives it a nice light, airy appearance and is even more curved. So it appears to be more curved than it actually is. The curve, Samsung says, makes it more immersive. I think it just makes it look different, and that's probably good for sales. It's very, very thin, about a ½ inch thick all the way around. There's no big bulges because all of the electronics on the TV are put in this remote breakout box. It's connected by a proprietary cable to the television. It has on it 4 HDMI ports, Ethernet, optical out, component, and this is an infrared blaster, IR blaster for devices to control devices that don't work with the standard protocols, the HDMI CEC protocols. Almost everything does, so you probably won't need to use this infrared blaster. Samsung says the other nice thing about taking this electronics, the smarts, the computer, and the TV outside of the TV is this is upgradable. The panel is beautiful, is gorgeous, and if you want to add smarts to the software, you just replace this box and you can do more. There's one other thing this does that's very odd. It has, okay, 3D glasses. These are active displays, so you have to charge them up via the attached USB port. But notice they're also equipped with headphones, so you can listen, and that's because there's something in here called multi-view. Okay, this is really weird, but if you have two people watching one TV and you have multiple inputs into the TV, you can literally watch side by side two different shows. Each of us will get a full screen because when the glasses are shuttered one way, I'll see my show. Shuttered another way, she'll see her show. We get our own separate audio via the built-in earplugs here on the headphones. So multi-view is designed to make for happy marriages by letting one person watch one thing, another watch another, or maybe play Call of Duty. I haven't used this yet. I can't vouch for how well it works. I don't know if I'll ever use it. What the hell? It's built in. 3D is supposedly very, very good on this because of the OLED screen. You'll have to ask somebody else. 3D just doesn't wow me. But ultimately, you buy this TV because of the OLED technology, because of the display. And just like the OLED screens on your phone, it is amazingly vivid. Colors are richer. The blacks are pitch black. It's truly off. Whites are actually white. Now, I've turned off some of the features in the TV for action. They have this interpolation that Samsung and other LCD manufacturers do on LCD panels. It's turned on by default. They call it smart motion. I call it horrible. It gives it a kind of a daytime soap opera feel, a video feel. At first I thought, this is weird, and why would it be on an OLED TV? Turning it off, you can see action still looks just fine. In fact, if there's any complaint about this panel, is that it's so accurate, so detailed, that you see flaws even in HD that you wouldn't see on a traditional HD TV. You see errors in the way it's shot, you see errors in color, errors in lighting. It's an extremely vivid, beautiful display. Consumer Reports called it the best HD TV they've ever tested. I haven't tested it yet, but I have to say, it blows me away. Now, there are a few things you ought to know about this TV. First of all, you can't hang it on the wall because of its curvature. That's going to get in the way for some people. Also, if you're spending $9,000 on any TV, but especially this TV, you're going to want to hire a professional calibrator to come in and do the settings. Samsung has made some interesting choices in the defaults. For instance, they've warmed it up considerably. They've turned on that weird motion artifacting. Some of the things that I felt like should be turned off. It comes out of the box ready for the showroom floor in very dynamic mode. You'll want to turn it to movie mode. If you can, spend a couple of $100, get a professional calibrator. You know, it's been easy for me. Scott Wilkinson and Robert Heron are actually fighting for the right to calibrate this TV. They all want to see it. We will have Scott come down, and what you're seeing right now is an uncalibrated picture with just a few settings. I changed it to movie mode. I turned it, it was in the warm mode on the color. I turned that down, and I turned off the motion correction. Nevertheless, a really good looking TV. I'm about to set up a Blu-ray player and use these calibration discs to try to get it as best calibrated as I can by myself. But ultimately, when Scott comes down, he's going to have some hardware that's going to make a big difference. All right, well, what about the pros and cons? Well, the pros, it's really thin. It's a gorgeous screen. The smart TV features are great. The built-in camera, if you're going to use Skype, is a real pro on this. And I love, believe it or not, the all-in-one Bluetooth remote. It works with my cable box. It works with the TV. It gives me all the features that I want. This is a pretty slick little remote. Cons: you can't hang it on a wall. It's not as big as some bigger TVs, 55 inches, but most importantly, the biggest con, $9,000. Should you buy, not buy, try it? Well, if you've got $9,000, this is easily the best HD TV on the market today. It's not even close. It's a great HD TV. In a couple of years, it'll be half as much, maybe even less. And I know that we'll all be watching OLED TVs in a matter of a few years. If you want to be the first in your block to have the best TV out there, I gotta say, it's a buy. Leo Laporte for Before You Buy.